Like it's totally radical, dudes. You know what time it is. Welcome, because it's Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. You know what time it is. It's time to start your week off right here on Nerd Initiative with Play for Keeps the show. That's right. It is April O'Neil, month of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hold on, too much energy drink. It is April O'Neil, month of TMNT. Mickey?
Yes.
Spin that video like a pizza and push that button.
Count them off.
There's no one better.
Watch out for Shredder.
They're like no others.
Turtles.
There's Teenage Brothers.
1, 2, 3, 4. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I accidentally muted myself. So sorry.
I think you muted both of us. Either way, we're just so totally tubular about this.
I was too excited. Sorry.
I'm so excited. It's so fluffy, I can die. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nerd Initiative. My name is Off the Cuff Tom, Nerd Initiative's pop culture connoisseur. Seriously, I have a bad case of rented lips today.
It's all good.
This is why I did too many lemon faces and lion faces before. All right. But we are talking about Ninja Turtles. We are going on to our second week of April O'Neil's month of TMNT. And with me, as always, he is the bebop to my rocksteady. Yeah. He is the voice of Nerd Initiative. He is Mickey CWK Smith. What is going on, Mickey?
Not a whole lot, man. Just turtle overload. It's all I've been focused on for 2 weeks now. And like, I'm not saying this too much because I love the Ninja Turtles, but I actually learned a lot because this is kind of an era I missed in a way. Mm-hmm. So I had to do a lot of research and kind of look into it. I just saw it in passing, but we'll talk about more of that later. I'm having a great night. I hope everyone watching is having a great night. Again, I don't know everything about this era, so help me out in the chat. All right?
Absolutely. Mickey and I are relatively the same age, so I know for me personally, I was going through a lot of stuff in life when it came to this stuff, so I also caught little bits and pieces and have caught up, in years since. So absolutely, if you have some great input about, what's your favorite episode or favorite turtle or favorite scene, please make sure to let us know in the chat. But before we get started with that, we always got to talk about what happened this past week in toy news. So that's right. We've got some toy news to go over. Not a lot going on. Again, I still think we're riding off the high little bit of New York Toy Fair. I know we just had C2E2. So shout out to our guys, our feet on the floor there, Derek, for doing some great content that you can check out here on Nerd Initiative. So big shout out to Paperweight Entertainment. But what do we got coming up this particular week in the toy news?
Well, we picked out a few nice things, maybe a little expensive things, but
yeah, this is definitely. I want it.
Yeah, we've got a
I want it.
We've got a 3-0 Voltron. I believe this is a redeco of something that of one they've done before. I can't remember. This is the cartoon Voltron right here. This is the. For Americans, this is our vote. This is the iconic.
This is Voltron 3.
This is the one we know so well, right?
Lion Voltron.
But dude, yeah, go Lion. It looks awesome. Comes apart. You have all the accessories. It's beautiful, man. And a Voltron is one of those things I need, to go on my shelf that I have never had.
I have one up on my shelf. It's not that one.
Yeah.
It was made of these little bricks and pieces with clutch power.
Oh, okay.
Then it fell one day.
Oh.
And I need to get 6 new pieces just to reattach the green line.
Oh, that's a bummer, dude.
But I was one who did have the original die-cast Voltron, and I still to this day regret the fact I don't have it anymore. Hey. What's funny is hopefully if we do cover Voltron, because I think we could do a whole month of Voltron.
Absolutely.
This is one of my, someone said once, Whatever your alarm clock sound is in the morning, that's your theme song for the day. And I have used the Voltron theme song as my alarm clock in the morning. When the Voltron 4 series came out in the early 2010s on Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
which it was a completely missed opportunity. I remember the first time that they combined, I had goosebumps. So, like, I'm not kidding. All of this here, and if you guys know my Power Ranger story, it actually all started with Voltron.
Yeah.
And I love that ab crunch. If you look at it, like he has his
Yes.
pelvis is out just slightly, so
Yes.
that way you can counterbalance the blazing sword and the. I don't know if this shield has a name technically.
I don't know.
Shame on me for that.
I could have added more photos. They had a bunch that you can find out there of them. This thing is in some really good poses. It looks great. They had like the flying kick with the saw coming out of the bottom of the foot. I was like, that's epic. So it's a really good figure, but it's gonna be really expensive too.
Yep, and they all come. Each individual lion comes with their mouth dagger. Yeah, it's pretty freaking awesome. The only thing I would have liked to added to maybe boost its hey, how you doing? Its want ability is I really, really want the key.
Okay.
So on their uniforms, they would take their symbol off and put it in, and that would
Yeah.
turn into the
Yeah.
key. That's just one weird collectible I think that there might be a
That'd be
market
cool.
for, but
Yeah. That'd be a good
or
idea.
Proplica. What's LeBron doing on the scene here?
So he is a Kinbassador. So I guess Mattel and Barbie are making. I assume they're going to be using like pop culture icons, people, celebrities as these Kinbassadors, and they're going to make Ken dolls out of them. And here's LeBron, right? I thought this was a pretty big deal. It is LeBron James. He's a big deal in celebrity status, professional sports, all that. And it looks really cool. If you're a LeBron fan, this is hype. This is something really good to have.
From the Mattel website, we're thrilled to announce LeBron James as the first doll in our Ken Ambassador lines. He is a true leader, an activist, philanthropist, and champion for others both on and off the court.
Yeah.
A changemaker and tastemaker, this LeBron James Ken doll embodies his signature elevated streetwear style while proudly representing the LeBron James Foundation, his nonprofit dedicated to empowering inner city youth with the tools they need to succeed in life. It is, and what's funny is they break this down. That it is, they give the designer Javi Mabe credit, the packaging designer, because that's it all comes into consideration.
Yeah.
This is also in the black label of Barbie, I'm guessing. The face sculpt obviously is LeBron. This is Ken height, so this will stand at the same scale to all your other figures. This is not going to be, LeBron James height. It's going to be on scale. There is a doll stand that comes with it, blah, 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 blah. And this is going to be going for $75, and it's already sold out on MattelCreations.com.
I don't doubt it. He's one of the most popular people in the world. And like, it actually looks really good if I was a huge basketball fan or
my
whatever.
big thing is that not only are they getting the skin tones, but he's got tattoos. Like, is this the first Barbie figure to have tattoos?
Can't be. I don't know the answer to that, but it can't be.
I don't know.
I feel like the 90s and early 2000s, there had to be somebody with a tattoo.
I mean, we've always joked about trailer trash Barbie and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering, like, hey, what's up? Is this the first Mattel figure to really have tattoos?
I don't know. I love the details of the Air Jordans, his Rolex. I guess that's a Rolex. He's wearing a really big gold watch. He's got his Beats headphones. He's got his.
And I think that's why it's pretty much $75 a figure.
Oh yeah,
they're all charging for licensing.
Brand, yeah. That's a lot of big names on them, and even his brand, that T-shirt, that We Are Family T-shirt, and that LeBron James jacket. It really looks cool. I just like it's not something from my collection.
Yeah, like and that's the other thing. If you're a sports collector, this is be perfect in your setup.
Oh yeah,
and it's also a big holds. If you're just want to say, haha, look at me, I have a Barbie next to my LeBron James stuff. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. I mean, you could tell they went out of the way to make the packaging very modern and maybe male skewed, right? Like nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, you got a Barbie." You'll be like, "Oh, this is LeBron James action figure. Cool, dude."
Yeah. No,
I think
I
like even
kudos.
the Barbies in the top corner, really small and black. You can't see
Mhm.
it. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely. Kudos to Mattel for coming out with this. I'm really looking forward to see what else they're going to do in this Ken Bassiter line.
yeah, that'd be
Um,
cool. I'm
yeah.
interested to see what's gonna happen after this.
So yeah, McFarlane.
Yeah,
Uh,
a couple
me
announcements
hate
here.
me hate this line. Me hate this with everything.
Come on, man. Uh I don't know. I don't care. Like I don't care about Eradicator. I don't have a Bizarro, but I don't really care either. That Green Lantern seems cool though. If you're a fan, if you're a Green Lantern person.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, shout out again to Derek. I think this will be something
Yeah.
going in his collection.
Oh yeah.
I would love to see McFarlane branch out when it comes to the cores. I would love to see McFarlane branch out and give me Larfleeze. Give me now again, folks got to understand. I'm not too big in the McFarlane. I've always been a Hasbro guy. Sorry,
Mhm.
till all are one.
Oh,
And I really haven't had the shelf space to get McFarlane. But if McFarlane has already made other Lantern cores, cool. If they haven't, I'd like to see it. Nothing wrong with Hal, but I would love, even in the Green Lantern core, give me Kilowog, give me Tomar Ray, give me Abensur, give me the ones that aren't in 2814.
yeah. I feel that. Yeah. The Bizarro looks cool, but
I love Bizarre. Like, there are so many great, and again, if you guys know from Play for Keeps, I know a lot of the pop culture side of the TV iterations and cartoon iterations. I love Bizarro. Always have. He's a tortured soul. The way they did him on Lois and Superman was a very interesting take,
it
and
was.
it was there to be there, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Eradicator looks great.
Uh,
I like him. I think he looks slick. He's not as the fact that they got the black going here, it's not like right out of the Reign of the Superman story arc, but
yeah.
I think it's a nice interpretation of the figure.
Yeah. Also it's important to note that I mean they're coming close to the end of their license for these DC figures anyway. So I don't know if they're just trying to cash in before it's over when you're talking about like expanding on other characters, but I don't know what the whole deal is, but I don't know how much longer they're going to be making figures either. I don't know when theirs ends and when Mattel picks it up again. So,
So heads up, Mattel, we're shining the light on your
telling
Kens. Now make sure we need more land.
Take us off on this one, buddy.
Till all our shit.
Dead.
There's my one for the half hour. Set the timer, folks. It's Unicron, baby. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He's the captain now.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I mean, now this is a non-transforming figure, folks.
It's a statue, yeah.
This is a giant statuette. No, you can't even call it a statuette. It is a freaking statue.
I believe they call it like a museum grade statue, like the literal description of it.
I mean, Orson Welles should like inhabit this. What would be even better? Oh my god! I'm having a moment here. I'm having a moment. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the nerdy. Well, seriously, I'm gonna have one of these moments.
Okay.
It'd be really, really good if they were to put speakers inside the throne, and then what's going to happen is it's going to say all the iconic lines from Orson Welles.
That would be pretty cool.
I didn't even look at the price. I just said, "Look at this. It's cool. I want to talk about this for Toy News."
Yeah.
I can only imagine. All right, I'm gonna
look it up.
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm gonna guess it's 4 digits. So what are we looking at here? 24 inches tall.
Yeah, 2 feet tall.
43 or 44 wide.
Almost 4 feet wide.
I'm assuming that can is for reference. That's a can of soda in the bottom left corner there. If you're trying to put.
You are right. It is in the 4 digits.
Oh yeah.
And actually the can is from the company Premium Collectibles.
Okay.
That is their logo. From Premium Collectibles Studios.
Say it. Rip the Band-Aid off.
$3,500.
That's chump change. Psych. I'm gonna sell my whole collection and I'm gonna buy this.
Yeah, that's literally the Bumblebee line. Oh,
Yeah. Basically, start over a new collection, sell everything, start with this.
oh my god.
That's crazy.
That's
That's crazy.
nerd money. Like that's legit
Oh, yeah.
true nerd money. Like
I
sorry, we're
mean,
nerds, but we ain't got nerd money. We
yeah,
we have we have to ask our wives before we buy figures.
it's crazy that this is that much more than like the RoboSun uh transforming robots, right?
Yeah,
Like I
they're
would think,
$7, $8, $900 a
yeah, they're
piece.
under 1,000. I was like, I figured those would be super expensive with all that intricate circuitry and mechanics. And this is just a statue, awesome statue, but yeah,
Hmm. And this ain't
surprise.
even coming out till next year, till 2026.
Whoosh, man. Yeah, I don't even know what I would do with it.
I
If
think
I
that there's. I'm gonna soapbox here for a second.
okay,
I think that in the statue market, um, I think that there's a very big disparity between the figure market and the statue market.
hmm
I don't think. I personally think that they need to find a common ground. Now, don't get me wrong. This is as big as it is, but what's the material? What is it made out of? Is this a plastic figure? Is this, is this plaster? Is it an actual statue? Is
yeah.
this poured? I'm not
Is it?
saying that it couldn't be worth,
Yeah,
it should be worth, that much money, but where does that really fall into? Like, I'm wondering if the pre-orders are actually, if this is going to be like the Super 7 idea that, hey, we're going to just get all the pre-orders we can, make that amount, and then make 10 more.
yeah, yeah. That would be a good idea. I think I'm more curious about production. Is this hand sculpted? Is it 3D printed? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing. So, and if it's hand sculpted, things that are handmade and hand sculpted, I will justify a big price tag for because somebody put a lot of time and effort into it. And it's an art piece, right? Like, you can't make but so many of those anyway. It's going to be a very limited number. So, I assume it's not. I assume it's probably printed in some way and then put together and all that. But yeah, it's very
Yeah.
detailed, very pretty.
And they also have um, a Devastator that's for pre-order, Jet Convoy, which is a version of Optimus Prime where, what's the name of the trailer, turns into a whole back jetpack for this around the same price point, $4,000, $4,500. They do have smaller ones. They have a Grimlock that's $250 and a Sabretooth that's $200.
Mhm.
And the Grimlock's cool because it is painted in the cartoon style, so it has the cell shading
Oh,
on
yeah, yeah.
the plate itself. It looks like it does come. It is slightly posable, or it has an alternate portrait here. So yeah, I think premium has something, but excuse me,
Bless you.
is it worth the price? I don't know. They should send us one for review.
Yes, we'll reach out. Yeah. Be like, look, we'd love to review your product live on air.
What is going on, Daniel? My pineapple pizza is wonderful. I don't care. It's my pizza, not yours. So you can go to Shell.
You know who else eats pineapple on pizza?
Hmm?
Unicron.
Dude, he's a devourer of worlds. He doesn't care.
Eats
what's on his
everything.
pizza.
Unicron versus Galactus. Who you get?
I'm always going to have Galactus on this one.
Oh yeah, okay. I feel that he does have a lot more stuff.
I'm sorry, but I don't know. Depends which. Oh man, you're going to do this. See, I'm going to start being that nerd again. Because it really depends on which continuity you're talking about. Because if we're talking about the Align continuity, then the Align continuity, that technically means that the Unicron was the dark energon of the two gods of Transformers. Because Primus itself is, technically, Cybertron. So when you have to take that in consideration.
And good night, everybody. Thanks for coming by.
Whereas Galactus is a multiversal thing. Unicron is a fixed point in all universes, if he didn't know, in the Transformers continuity.
Yeah. He's also really scary.
Yeah. So let's talk about, we've got April O'Neil's month of TMNT. I absolutely love these iterations of April. I'm really excited, except for the one that we didn't get in Next Mutation.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't even try.
Yep, let me get my notes here. I have notes.
Hold on,
We
we'll get
actually do come slightly prepared, folks. You know,
Okay.
we go off the rails, but we do come slightly prepared.
We'll talk about the show in just a second. But folks, Turtle Mania is dead. I'm sorry. In 1997, we put her in the ground. Right? We had a good run, almost a decade. Bonus points to anybody can tell me what TV show this is from. Bonus points. Chat, tell me what TV show this still is from. It's from a very popular late 80s, early 90s TV show. I cut off.
Okay, so I'm going to take a wild guess at this.
Okay.
Married with Children?
Give the man a hand. Congratulations, Tom.
Really?
It is, yes. I cut off Bud and what's her name's head?
Yeah, Kelly.
Kelly,
But
yeah.
I based it solely on the production value.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this has to be.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, so we've had almost a decade, probably more if you're counting the comics popularity beforehand. But I mean, she's run a course. Toys, cartoons, movies, video games. Like, it's almost done. Daniel figured it out too. Good job, buddy. Married with Children. So this is almost the end. You know what I mean? Like, where do we go from here? Booyah.
Or is it?
Or is it? 1997.
So, in conjunction, Fox Kids and Saban Entertainment came out with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation. This is based in line with the 3 movies, but it is
Somehow.
not technically considered canon to the Mirage universe.
Yeah. Well, is that because Peter Laird was not happy?
Oh, dude,
about
he's
Venus
pissed.
de
Yeah. He called it what is it? What was the term used? It was the writer's bankruptcy having to add in Venus.
I think this might have been the nail in the coffin for Eastman and Laird as well. I don't know that for sure. I'm just guessing.
Daniel, we did talk about the Jim Lee figures last week, as a matter of fact, in our slide. As a matter of fact, it was the one where it said, and then this got weird.
Yeah, there was like a bunch of toys, and one of them was Jim Lee.
Don't you talk about Super Turtles did
most
not
of
get
them
weird.
No, most of them got really
look,
weird.
I have your address. I will find you.
Okay. And Super Turtles are cool.
Right?
Way cooler than this. Yeah, I keep getting that backwards.
Yeah, I know. See, if you guys go back, I asked Mickey, like, dude, flip your camera. Our logo's been wrong for months on your head. And now he's all backwards.
I'm good. I'm getting it though. I always point away from the microphone. Away from the microphone.
Wait, hold on. Away from the microphone.
There you go.
See, for me, it's I head towards the light. Ooh, shadow puppets. So yeah, so we have the Next Mutation, or as a lot of people like to say, the one with the girl. And I had to stop here because all the Bro Turtles, all right, fans, take a look. We have other female turtles, okay? So I just wanted to clarify. Yes, this might be the one with the girl, but technically April was the first girl turtle in the Archie comics in 1995, as opposed to Venus in 1997. So say something.
Boom.
And then we also have Jenica and Lita as well. I felt so bad. I was just at that convention, Syracuse Collectors Con, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the New York Turtle cosplayers were there. And there was a Jenica.
Oh.
And she looked amazing. And everybody's going, who the shell is that?
I feel like just off of the shock value of social media and everything, everybody would know who she is.
You'd be surprised, man. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I think that the mainstream continuity versus the comic book continuity, of which we do have a whole episode, which we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about Jenica and Lita and such. That's the pink turtle down there as well, introduced in TMNT 101. So yeah, So Venus was introduced. She is the first turtle not named after an artist. She is named after a work of art,
Yep.
Venus de Milo. And unlike the other turtles, she is not a ninja. She is shinobi. She knows how to use ninja magics. She does not have her own weapon per se. But yeah,
Yeah, it was a wild time.
it was. I like the fact that they made her suit a nice sleeker design. They did try to give it as much femininity as they could.
Yeah.
Yep,
Kinda,
and we also do have the female, the other turtles in the next timeline after Last Ronin as well.
I think for a lot of people it was off-putting to give her shell breasts. Like, not that it's a bad thing, but it's just like I a lot of people were like that's all I can see.
Look, I'm a
But
Power Rangers kid, so I'm happy. Oh, we
yeah,
added
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
sixth Ranger. I don't care. Oh, she's
Exactly.
got boobs. Okay, she's a girl. Girls have
Yeah.
boobs.
I think it didn't help that the show wasn't good either. Like, it's kind of like a compound of interest, in my
Oh yeah,
opinion. Because
it's snowballed.
yeah, I thought the purpose of this was to, I don't know, bring a serious tone like from the movies, but this was goofier than the original cartoon. Like, this is more slapstick and like silly than anything they did in the 80s cartoon. And it's just when you watch it, you're like, it's almost like a fever dream. Like, was that real?
And
It
because
was.
of standards and practices, just like the second movie, this whole series they didn't use their weapons as well.
Right. I think they would hold them, but they never used them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They had a really cool Humvee though.
They did have the cool Humvee because it worked out great. They also had recycled the costumes from the third movie, so you can actually tell that Splinter does have his chopped ear
Yeah.
from that goes all the way back to the first movie. And on top of it, the turtle layer was reused.
Yeah.
I love that subway set.
Yeah.
Like someone reopen that and just make that as a walkthrough,
That would be a good idea.
right?
Good attraction. Yeah. I would like that a lot actually. But the show only lasted for a year. I don't know how many was it 24 episodes? Something like that?
More than enough.
Okay. But so anyway, we obviously didn't get many toys because the show wasn't around that long. And these were kind of unique from Turtle toys we had seen so far in terms of sculpt and things like that. But
Very He-Man inspired to see how big, broad chests and
yeah,
everything.
that's right. And we had Jenica and we had their new
Jenica?
enemies. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I read Night Watcher all the time, so that's the only thing on mine right now. Sorry. Venus de Milo. All right.
We will talk about Night Watcher in the next series.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, we've got the new, I don't know what they are, man. I don't even know who the villains were other than the
So
Dragon
the bad
Lord.
guy in this was the Dragon Lord.
Yeah.
They had defeated Splinter in the first they defeated Shredhead in the first episode. And I think it just came down to the fact of they didn't want to have the Shredder there, so they went with this whole Dragon Lord multi-dimensional thing. The bad guys were terrible.
Gosh, they were
The
bad.
sets were horrible.
They were like really like they were some very what's the word I'm looking for?
Unique,
Unique and
peculiar.
like very questionable stereotypes as well in a couple cases that I saw where I was like, okay. Especially I think there's the girl and she had like a couple of henchmen that were like, that's a little too much there, buddy.
Yeah.
Pull it back a little bit.
Don't worry, Ken. We are going to talk about the IDW comics. We have a whole section already gone for that. We're just already in the mindset because as much as I might be a turtle person, yeah, let's next. Because that was the only good thing that really came out of this.
Yeah, okay. Pretty much.
Yay! So this is when your schoolyard dreams become reality. When you're finally playing with all your action figures and they all come together. So Saban went and threw the Hail Mary.
As you should have.
At this point. Well, what was also interesting is, if a lot of people don't know, Power Rangers in Space was the last opportunity, really, because this was going to be the, quote, final season.
Right.
So they're like, well, screw it. Let's just, toss the Hail Mary and have the Turtles cross over with the Space Rangers. Believe it or not, there's not a lot of screen grabs, and I kind of wish I would have went through and taken a few. This is from the episode called Shell Shocked. And it also helped to the fact that they didn't use Zane the Sixth Ranger in this because we don't have a sixth turtle. So everybody kind of paired up. I love the fact that, I've spoken with Chris Kamen Lee, who played Andros the Red Ranger, and he said this was fun. He was looking forward to it,
Yeah.
to filming these. Actually, you can check that out on the panel I had on here. It's been posted about a year and a half ago. Spoke about it, and it was cool for him to learn as an actor, how these suits worked and all. Because folks, the Ninja Turtles aren't real.
Kayfabe's over, remember?
Yep, kayfabe's over.
And this helps solidify that for
Yeah. One of my favorite actual scenes from this is when they team up, or there's like, oh wait, the Astronema told us you were the bad guys. Da, 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 da. But honestly, my favorite was at the end, because instead of sewer surfing, they were using the Astro gliders.
Yeah.
Or the Astro.
Oh yeah.
Whatever the Astro sleds.
Yeah.
To fly through space at the end, because you can fly through space on your, Astro, whatever the heck they were called.
Exactly. So like, I again missed all of this when it happened. Even though, because honestly, after like Zeo Rangers, I kind of checked out of Power Rangers at that point in time in my life as well. So I wasn't around for space. I know my little brother would watch this stuff, and I would catch it in passing. I didn't remember them teaming up I didn't see it till much later in life.
Galaxy Glider.
There you go.
Sorry.
But I'm really mad because this would have been a few years before. This would have been right in my wheelhouse, and this would have been the best thing that ever happened to me.
If I could get into my boxes, I have the Turtle Rangers from the comic book, as written by our friend Ryan Parrott, who we want to have back on the show soon, Ryan.
It's crazy that those figures didn't sell very well. Like, you can still buy them pretty cheap now if you want, like on clearance.
Yep.
But I thought that comic was phenomenal, and I thought the toys were really cool too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so this was all good, all fun and games. Neither one helped the other. Also, fun fact: did you know that in Power Rangers in Space, they happen to go to the Dagobah system?
I didn't know that.
For our Star Wars fans out there. But what happens after 1997?
Well, hold on just a second. All right. So
no, they still had toys too.
This is just like the last little. I thought these were funny to me. Well, first of all, the Humvee never came out, which disappoints me. They only had those two bikes. I saw these Turtle Flage characters and I almost died because that's Donatello. He just puts on like wood armor and he can hide in front of a tree and be invisible or something. I think Leonardo had like brick, and it came with like a brick thing you could put behind him, and he's supposed to look like he's not there, but obviously you can tell his green and stuff is still sticking out. They were hilarious to me. Go back and look at the Turtle Flage, because those are the wildest toys I've ever seen in my life.
Ooh, shout out to Daniel real quick. Stayed around till Lightspeed Rescue. Fun. I got fun facts about this like nobody's business. Just DM me on the side, buddy.
Hey, we'll have a Power Rangers month soon, so just stay around for that. A month, yeah.
Month?
Right. 2 months, 3, 4. We can do it. Hey, you want to have Power Rangers year?
Okay, all right. Hold on. One, we all know Ken. Acknowledge. Thank you. We'll shut that down real quick.
There's so many toys, though.
There are so many toys, and I think if all right, we're gonna brain think tank here real quick, folks. I think if we did really focus on Power Rangers, what I would like to do is we break it down by Saban era, Disney era, Neo Saban era, and then comic books, kind of like how we're doing it this way. So we could possibly do a month, and then maybe wait for one of those months that we have, like Master of the Universe March. That's a 5-week month to really give it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's just due. So that's out there, folks. If you guys want to hear about it, please make.
No Power Rangers year is veto. All right. That's fair.
Wait,
We're already canceled.
But Ken, we did this.
So we had an evolution of animation and like programming for kids, right? Now we're talking about more mature themes, darker tones. like X-Men the animated series, Batman the animated series. Anime was coming hard. Dragon Ball Z was huge in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
Batman, I think
Hold
it's
on.
one of
I'm
the
gonna say this right now. Batman is the greatest animated series of
okay.
all time.
I was going to say it too.
Okay. If anybody wants to argue with me, I'm not kidding. We'll literally go back and forth. And there's only I have top 5, and that is in my top 5.
Batman the animated series is responsible for like every animated series for adults after that, in my opinion, because they changed the game. They were, it won really important awards that I can't think off the top of my head now, but
Accolades.
voice actors were winning awards, animators were winning awards, directors, writers, the whole 9 yards. And this was being aimed at, this is something I feel like younger kids could watch and adults could watch, and it was intriguing and awesome. And it kind of changed the game going forward, in my opinion, where they were like,
Very much.
okay, let's play or let's give the older audience what they want. Give them they know this stuff. They're not stupid. They know who these characters are. They know what their histories are. Let's just throw them in there and we can have a nice little story. And we're going to, I don't know, the character development was off the charts. And like the serious tone and nature of these situations were huge. And I like things that don't take people for granted. Like they're too dumb. They're not going to get it. They
don't pander.
That kid's not going to understand this. Nah, just give it to him, man. They'll get it. I promise. So with that, seeing these more adult shows, more like oriented towards people that grew up with these properties, we get a reboot of TMNT. So yeah, like I said, darker tone, character development. They looked more towards their source material, the comic books. There was a lot more action than we've seen in the 80s animated. As we know, they were just goofballs, right? They didn't even hardly fight half the time. They didn't even use their weapons either, really. And then the Next Mutation, we talked about it. They weren't really doing anything in there either. So now we're seeing more fights. We're seeing some better bad guys, in my opinion. And new theme song each season, really good theme songs too. And longer story arcs, which we got from X-Men and Batman and Dragon Ball, especially Dragon Ball. God, you could 20 episodes to get through like a part of an arc.
well, and to quote the epic rap battles of history, just one punch and over 900 screams. But it's true. This 2003 Turtle series really did change the game for Turtles itself. It really broke through and gave us a new iteration of Turtles that we're not used to. At the same time, like I said, the longer story arcs and consequences did lend to what was going to happen in the next season. And because of that, we did have a little bit play on the theme songs, which was fun. The Turtles now finally all each have their own coloring. So you could tell them a little bit more apart as opposed to just having their bandanas. The story and development was just, it really was far above, I think, what we were used to on TV at the time.
Yeah, I loved the way Shredder was in this show. Like this might be one of my favorite Shredders because he was a Utrom. Like that blew my mind. I was like, at first, I don't know how many other people took it, but you're like, that's weird. Why would you do that? But the more you think about it, you're like, that's really cool. Like, and it starts to sit in the back of your brain where you're like, I like that a lot, actually. And it just builds to something where he was a much more, what's the word? Intimidating character. He's already intimidating, but now you have a reason for him being tough to kill and almost immortal in a way, because he's not a human.
Yep.
Because you're like, how does this guy keep surviving this stuff?
And also another big thing that threw a lot of people off is Baxter Stockman was black.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, guess what? In the comics, he was black.
Yeah. And they had a whole season of lost episodes that focused on him as the villain, didn't they?
Oh, don't get me.
Okay, all right. We'll wait.
So sorry.
I'll show you. We'll get a few slides ahead. But, this is just a basic look. I didn't want to put every single toy up here. You've got the cards. This is what they look like front and back. And actually right now, they just recently, is it the end of last year, beginning of this year, re-released these.
Yep.
The packaging is a little bit different and you don't have as many accessories in it, but the figures are exactly the same. And they're really cool. So if you see them out, and you like this show, you should pick them up. They're only like $9.
Yep. So what happened is in the first few seasons, season 1 and 2 were really about the origin story, relearning the turtles, reestablishing everything for everyone. Then came in the Battle Nexus tournament. We really started to get these bigger, more epic, outer space themes and tech versus magic and so on and so forth. Seasons 3 and 4 went into the space theme of the Triceratons, the Ultimate Ninja type stuff. And then we find out about, this is also the first time that we're introduced to Karai outside of the comics.
Yeah.
For those you don't know, Karai is the daughter of Splinter, who eventually does take over the Foot, and really has it's one of the biggest change of heart stories you really see. Like, she's having a relationship with Leo. Not only does she respect him as a warrior, but also looks to him almost as an older brother figure at points, a romantic, quasi romantic relationship. And let's not forget, Casey and April are in here too.
This April's cool. I don't know why I did not like this Casey Jones at all. Like, he's probably my least favorite Casey Jones.
And that's okay. I wasn't a huge fan of him. A lot of things were taken. This adapts the story from the Mirage City at Warline, if those of you are familiar. What I really liked is that starting in season 4, with everything going with Karai, Leo finally goes from being like the Boy Scout to the fact he's like starts having PTSD, and he starts, being rough and gruff. And like, it kind of is almost, and I'm going to say this, and I know Ken's probably going to give me a little rash for this. Leo kind of goes a little bit Cyclops on this.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that this is probably one of the most faithful adaptations until we get to season 5, 6, 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we did have this, like, in between that, we had this Turtles was Fast Forward, right? Like, where they went to the future, and it was like,
the way Fast Forward worked is this was supposed to be Ninja Turtles season 6. But because of everything that was driving in the series and all these heavier and darker tones, like, hold on, we're going to take a second and we're going to take a beat and we're going to slip in this Fast Forward season. I don't think anything's wrong with that, Ken. I'm just saying, like, look, you're the X-Men guy. I'm just not trying to step on your toes, brother. All right. I've always liked Cyclops, but when I've really started to understand him better from other perspectives, like, he's a bit of a dick.
It could be like
that. But going back to this, so Fast Forward was slipped in. This was actually done in production order after they had produced what's called the Lost episode, the Ninja Tribunal season. But coming out of season 4, where there was so many heavy overtones and the dark and grittiness of this, they wanted to slide this in to try and alleviate and breathe some fresh air. I like the theme song to this. I wasn't sure if you were going to pick the or if you were going to play with this or mix them together. So I was looking forward to the opening this week. You can also tell on this, there are mistakes on these cards, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, take a look. Leo's got Raph in the front. Raph's got Leo in the front. Mikey's got
I see that now.
Leo in the front, and Donnie's got Mikey in the front.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, the reason is, take a look, flip it around. The 4th turtle is the one all the way in the back.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was kind of confusing when you're walking down the aisle and you're looking at the pegs and you go, wait a minute, that's the wrong, until you realized it was all 3 of them standing in front and the 4th turtle was in the back.
Okay.
I liked this season. It was fun. Everybody knows me. I like a little interpretation. They went to the future. They were working with Casey and April's grandkid. And then you'll notice all this extra gear on them that's so they could survive in this New York metropolis city that's now built up so high, like the Jetsons. They couldn't breathe properly. But there was one real big storyline that stuck out to me. And that would have been the Dark Turtles.
Okay, let's go there.
So I had to include these guys because I think this was a really great idea. We've seen mutant clones before of other characters, and they disintegrate or they die, or there's bad cloning and everything. You've really never seen evil clones or, other universe or whatnot type characters done to this level of grit and funk. And it was really, really neat. They were really great opposites to the Turtles. Whereas Mikey in this series was, hey, what's going on, dudes? Let's have some fun. Like, we're not talking to Greg Sipes level. We'll get to that when we talk about the Nickelodeon. But this Mikey was vicious. Dark Michelangelo was sadistic, to say the least.
Yeah.
Dark Donnie was dumb as hell.
They're all bizarro versions of themselves.
They're bizarro to the nth degree, but they were still intelligent.
Yeah.
I really, really like this. I wanted to see figures of this. So, like, Best Action or Super 7, let's get some figures of this going.
Yeah, this is the kind
I will
of stuff,
spend my money.
This is the kind of stuff they should be, if they want to do weird things, this is the stuff they should be doing.
Yeah, it's not like glow-in-the-dark Raiden.
But
they just announced this past week.
Fast Forward replaced these episodes, the Lost episodes.
So the Lost episodes were supposed to be season 5. This got pushed to season 6. So when they came back after Fast Forward, after it was kind of a flop, we got the Ninja Tribunal. This is one of my particular favorite seasons. It was a very, very different style of turtle. There was a lot of great mysticism. At some point, they turned into dragons and they got these new weapons. And they really based a lot of stuff on this out of Asian culture, including the whole idea, like, when you think the elements, we always think, everything changed the day the Fire Nation attacked. It's the 4 elements. But in Eastern philosophy, there are a 5th element as well. So they did have these ninja masters that wore these big, huge Raiden-like hats, all based on the 5 Eastern elements. So you had your air, water, earth, fire, and metal as well. Mm-hmm. I love this series, this particular season.
I didn't know anything about it until yesterday. And
go watch it.
So just what I saw, like on a YouTube clip, I immediately thought about that show that came out recently, The Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because they had the same powers almost.
Mm-hmm.
It was very Naruto coded. When you're watching it, it's like, man, this is straight out of Naruto. Like, they have chakras and they have what's the word? They have projections to help them fight and stuff like that. It was just, I was like, dude, this is all anime. So it's cool.
I'm not sure if Rise did go through. I know that it was planned that they were going to possibly go into the Ninja Tribunal storyline. I'm not 100% sure. And I'll be honest, I haven't watched really that much of Rise.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I watched the movie. They had a movie come out that I watched that was very like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, these were some great, great episodes. And then there's that.
Where'd you find these? Because I couldn't find them.
I actually found a resource of all the Turtles figures ever produced, so I will send it to you later.
Please, yeah. Because I was like, I didn't see anything for these, and I was like, this is pretty cool. Well, I mean, they're cool to look at, but not bad.
No,
I like it. I like the war paint. They almost don't look real.
So after we have the Lost season and the Lost episodes and Fast Forward and switching things around and so on and so forth, the eyes have it.
I like that.
Well, it's the truth, because the Ninja Turtles came back. Where'd they come back to? They came back to the sewer.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, this is when they really changed things up, and I don't understand why. The style was perfectly fine before, but they added eyeballs and pupils.
Yeah. I don't know why. Trying to be like the classic cartoon, I guess.
I don't know. They really were trying to balance out, okay, well, what did we like out of everything for the first 4 seasons? And then we did Fast Forward, and then we did this. Now, let's put it all together. So it came out to this cyberpunky modern day kind of feel. The turtle layer was massive. It was one giant computer, pretty much.
Yeah.
In this dome underneath New York City. Splinter is lost in cyberspace for, the majority of the season. So they're going back and forth. There's a cyber shredder. Like you said, they did this whole thing of, keeping, Splinter always around, whether it was Utron Shredder, Urokusaki, the whole 9. They tried.
Yeah, I couldn't find any figures for this era. They had these RC toys was really all I could pull. I did find the next slide is what I found. There's like a, I guess, promotional images that never got released for that Cyber Splinter. It was like a Build-A-Figure for that wave you see there on the far right with the 4 turtles. But the thing about these turtles is when you look at them really closely, they look a lot like the ones from the 2007 movie. They don't so much look like the ones from the show back to the sewers. So I was really confused when I was looking for stuff, trying to find anything for this series, and this was all I could come up with. This and those RC toys, which was weird to me, but I don't know. I understand it. They probably, this is the end, getting pretty close to the end of this era, so I get it. Because this was this 2008 or 2009, right? Back to the sewers. Yes,
2008, 2009.
So the movie that we're going to talk about here in a minute had already come out in 2007, which really influenced it. Obviously, you can see in turtle designs.
Yeah, they definitely showed that, you know, had these weird Kermit-like faces. I'm sorry, but when we're talking about the TMNT movie, I was not a fan of the faces, and you'll see why in just a second.
Okay.
But yeah, after that we had this great, and there's Cyber Splinter, like I said, you know, using him as one of the plot points, and then we all have.
This movie's fantastic, though. Yes. Michelangelo didn't look like that. He was always like, well, in this picture he does.
We have dead eyes.
Dead eyes. Okay. TMNT 2007.
Yes, 2007.
One of the most underrated TMNT properties of all time.
It really was, and it falls in line with the original series too. Did you turn on the fan today?
I did. I just
okay.
Yeah, this was supposedly part of that universe because
it was.
At the end, I think it's at the end where Splinter puts I can't remember the villain's name in this movie, his helmet on like their mantle. You can see Movie Shredder's helmet, and you can see the what was the time travel thing that from the third movie? I can't remember what it's called, but the scepter, time scepter.
The time scepter, yeah.
So there's a lot of those little Easter eggs that kind of hint that these turtles have been through that. They've done that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So this one acted like a soft reboot. It really focused on the idea that they were growing up.
Yeah.
The bad guy was Max Winters, as voiced by Captain Jean-Luc Picard himself, that you can see that I hid down in the bottom.
Very nice.
Done by Sir Patrick Stewart. Karai is in there as well. She teases the idea that Shredder. Kevin Smith makes a cameo in this. And this is also where we get to see, because everybody had broken up after the events of the third movie. I think they probably had broken up because they all just didn't like Venus. So that's my headcanon. At this point, Raph is the Night Watcher.
He is. I love that too. And I love that Leo's been like gone and training, whatever.
Yep.
And, like he comes back to kind of bring the family back together and start back up, you know, and get everybody on his level, because dude's been training his butt off. And you get, I mean, look, that fight between them two on that rooftop is just one of those great scenes in TMNT history. And if you got, I said it earlier, I've been reading Night Watcher. If you pick up the most recent issue, which I think is number 7, you get a little reference to that when Jenica kind of has to fight somebody and beat some sense into them as well. It's kind of that same vibe. I can tell that they totally referenced that, and I loved it. So yeah, it's great. It transcends into other mediums of TMNT.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. I liked these bad guys. I know we don't have Shredder and we don't have Krang. We don't have any of the traditional TMNT villains, really.
And I think that's what really hurt it, is because it was so different from the norm. I mean, not only one it being CGI, but I remember seeing this in the theater. Let's see, 2007.
This was a home video pickup for me. I didn't get to see it in theater.
I did see it in theaters. I just don't. Oh yeah, I remember who we saw it with. Yeah, we don't talk about that person anymore.
But yeah, even April O'Neil was a badass in this movie.
Yeah, April was awesome.
Like she had been trained in I guess they had been training her all along or whatever, but she's in her Kill Bill jumpsuit, man, with the katanas. Sick. Yeah, there's a much more grown up tone to the Turtles because they're older, right?
I think I should give this a rewatch. A really good rewatch.
You should. And yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. Highly recommend. Let's see. What's next? Oh, the toys, obviously. I, again, wasn't really collecting at this time, so I kind of missed these. And we've got... They basically released all the figures you see here, plus those 4 statues. And what was his name again? Max? Was that his name? The villain?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Max Winters.
Winters, thank you. So yeah, I mean, they kind of went through them, released all the main characters you want, and that was it. Even had a Shredder who was not in the movie, but I guess that's what he would look like if he was.
And big thing here too. Shout out to Playmates. They have kept the licensing this entire time since 1984.
Yeah, for real.
You can see it right down there. I wouldn't be surprised if I did my homework real quick and look. That's probably one of the Shredder iterations from Back to the Sewer, and they just repacked it.
Probably. Because, again, like we saw earlier, those 2 toy lines were kind of mixing with each other. You could tell they were just trying to reuse some of this stuff or get a head start on something new. And whether it worked or not, I don't know. But you had these alien hunters, which I guess
I'm going to scoop back real quick one.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
Definitely not as close as Cyber Shredder, but I could definitely see influences.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, he does kind of look like the 2003 Shredder in a way anyway, vibe-wise. But you had these alien hunter turtles, and they released like a couple of villains before they gave up. And you had like a couple of deluxe figures like that Donatello with like this huge...
War Machine looking thing?
Yeah. So, I mean, they had a few things coming out, but really at this point in time, it was all hit or miss. Nobody really cared, I don't think.
It was throw it at the wall and see what sticks. It's like, hey, it worked for back 20 years ago. Let's try it again.
Yeah, that's what happened. And then, how did you feel about this?
I loved it. I watched this live.
Did you?
I did. I made time out to watch this live.
So 2012 TMNT kind of did something like this too. And I loved it, right? And then I found out about this though. I was like, wait, they did something like this before? And I went and I found it and watched it. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. I watched it again today just because I was like, I want to see it before we do the show. Yeah. It's awesome.
And the fact that, so this was a combination of the original series, the 2003 series, finally coming together. And if you notice right there, dead center, we also have the original Mirage Ninja Turtles.
They were so awesome.
And they were so gritty. Like I was ready for Fox for them to just start bleeping out words because they needed to.
Yes.
Absolutely. This is one of the GOATs when it comes to anything Turtles.
Absolutely.
Yes, we will discuss the crossover that they did again in the Neo Nickelodeon's era, as I like to refer to it.
Yeah.
But the fact that this was able to really take a franchise and do it properly and do it justice over all the iterations that they've done and pay great homage to it.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge cheers to them.
Yes. Being that I hadn't really watched a lot of that show anyway, I didn't know those turtles as well when I watched this. So it was almost like getting to know them the first time when I did. And it's also really shocking because you forget how goofy the original cartoon was. And when you watch this, they're so annoying. I was like, why did I like that as a kid?
Yeah, I just put these things together and I made this fantastic thing that's just going to go through the whole... And there's like modern Donnie going,
what? How does this work?
Like
and
you took a piece of aluminum foil, an apple, and next thing you know, you're jumping through universes.
yeah, but it also like made the whole Shredder Utrom thing way cooler because you have Krang and Shredder from the classic cartoon, and then Krang and Shredder is one guy basically in this iteration. So just the whole, and then Bebop and Rock, everything, everything that they showed was a great homage. I love how, again, it was hard to watch those stupid, how stupid those turtles were back in the 80s, just like throwing trash at stuff. But there was a genius in their stupidity with like environmental attacks because
Mhm.
they're throwing big rocks, rolling down hills, and like knocking down stalagmites, stalactites. Which one's on the ceiling? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But just these things, and they're like cartoonishly winning. And you see these other turtles like, what is happening right now? How are they doing this?
We have weapons. Use
Yeah.
them.
And then you get to
No,
see
we're okay, dude.
what a real bad guy could do because he takes the whole operation with the Technodrome and like upgrades it, and it's like he's winning.
Honestly, this is probably to this point the pinnacle of Turtles. I really do believe that the 2003 series by far is one of the best out there. I'm not going to knock the original series because if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be where we are.
Right.
I use Ninja Turtles as a great reference for those of us in the elder millennial generation now, where people go, "Oh man, this has turned to this and this has turned to that." I said, "Look, we're the Ninja Turtles generation. All right, we're
Right.
on six interpretations of the Turtles right now, and you know what? They're all good.
Yeah. Yep.
Just shut up."
In their own way.
But at this point, we were only at the 2/3/4, depending on lost episodes and Next Mutations. And that is it. We're done. There was no more Ninja Turtles because this is Turtles Forever. They had broken the multiverse and everything was over.
Psych. I love the. Oh yeah, there you go. Turtles Forever next week. Yeah. There you go.
Really? Forever?
Forever. Man, I really like the 2012 version, but it's probably because I got to watch it with my oldest son,
And
we
that's the best part about Turtles. It's multi-generational.
he got to experience Turtles for the first time, and I got to experience it with him. And they made a whole lot of references to stuff that I knew, and I was like, "Oh, I know that. Oh, I know that." And I'm telling him like, "This is from that. This is from that." And he's like, "Okay."
Sure. Okay, Dad. Sure. Why not? And then
then
there's the Michael Bay Turtles.
the CGI fest of Michael Bay, which, you know what? I don't hate it. Not my favorite, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, definitely not
It has its moments.
exactly. I'd rather watch scenes than the whole film.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. Elevator scene might be one of the best TMNT moments. Yeah. MC Mikey.
MC Mikey. Yep.
It's really good. It's really good.
It really is, and that's like all the great content that we do put out here on Nerd Initiative because that's what we want to do. We like to share and love our fandoms with you.
That's right.
And, if you like to share and love your fandoms and you want to put it out there on the internet, of course, make sure that you're following along with us. And not only that, if you're following along with us here on Nerd Initiative, you got to make sure that you're subscribed, you hit that bell, and you tap that thumbs up. And even if you're a turtle, you still have a thumb. You might only have the 3 fingers, but you can still at least, rock out a thumbs up and show the GEO that we know that we're good to go. Right? Nanu. But on top of that, if you're really, really hyped up, make sure we're still always looking for people to join our team. We've got some fantastic new folks joining here on Nerd Initiative. You can scan that QR code. Make sure, join us. See what's going on. I know we've got some fantastic new people in the movie team. We're looking forward to hopefully bringing some new people on in the TV and the comic book team. There's a lot of stuff going on in Nerd Initiative. A lot of conventions are coming up. A lot of stuff that we need to be covering. And we want you to join us. I mean, we even play nice together too.
That's right. That's right. You like toys? You like toys? You like pop culture?
I do. Yeah.
One of us.
Chicken jockey.
Yeah. I don't have any popcorn to throw.
No. Actually, I did get some of the Minecraft Happy Meal toys. I should have brought one in. That's my pickup this week.
My kid's got some too. Yeah, I should have.
Which one's he got? What's he got?
He got the skeleton and I think a zombie. I think there's two that we have right now.
I got the Grimace egg and the potion.
I got the Grimace egg because I got one too.
So yeah, movie team. We're definitely looking for people. We definitely
Streaming.
like the stream team. Probably could use a folk or two. But yeah, we've got so many things going on. Not only just this week, we've got everything going with our April O'Neil month of TMNT. Tomorrow night, we have a very anticipated episode on Turnipage. Tony Fleeks is going to be joining us, talking about one of my favorite comic books. Honest to God, I am literally sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for every single issue to come out. So big shout out to Ken, all right, for putting this one in my lap. Everybody knows I'm a big cartoon type guy. I'm also a cat dad in real life. So but I'm not a horror person. I've started to enjoy it. But when he threw me Feral,
yeah, buddy,
it is the cat's pajamas. I'm not kidding. I am so looking forward to talking to Tony about all this. He's also done Stray Dogs, and it's really going to be a great, fun episode. Wednesday, we're going to have how many reviews coming out?
Probably 40, maybe more.
at least 25, if not more. Knowing us, it's probably around 30, but we're not going to count every single one, but we just have that many. Yeah. Thursday night, dropping in from the top rope is going to be Rich and Sammy talking about wrestling and all the things that's going on with that. We have such a packed and stacked lineup. Make sure that you are following along. Go to the website, go to the YouTube, go to the TikToks, go to the Book of Faces, go to there's so many things. We're all over. Just look up Nerd Initiative.
Yeah, just tons of content. And today we had a huge day with Dark Horse Comics talking about Robo Wolf. So final order cutoff was today, so you might have missed it if you're not run out to your LCS now. But yeah, check out Dark Horse Comics and check out nerdinitiative.com because Robo Wolf, man, I'm telling you, I got a little preview of it. It's really, really good. And I put together a video, and Ken wrote a nice little article that you can check out on the website.
Oh yeah, it's WrestleMania week. It is Christmas for the wrestling team.
I forgot about that. Hey, I got to ask you guys why in the world they would do it on Easter weekend, but yeah, I need to know that.
Oh, well, should I make a really, really... Oh, Mickey crushed that video. Thank you. Shout out to Mickey.
Thank you.
I know I just did my Doctor Who in review. I think the video's up too. I lucked out this week. The great Time Lords opened up and gave me opportunity not only to do a video, but I even did an article this week too.
Oh, man. Heck yeah.
I know. I had time to type.
That first episode was good, by the way. I got to watch
first
it
episode was good. I gave it an 8.7. Maybe one of those random weeks where we don't have a whole theme month where you could talk sonic screwdrivers. Compare. I don't know.
There you go. Okay.
No metaphor there, Mickey. I don't know where you're going. This is family friendly content.
This is a kids show. Okay.
Big kids.
Yeah. Exactly.
And, we really hope you're enjoying everything we're doing. Make sure you're following along all the social medias. Leave your ideas and thoughts in the comments, what you want us to keep following. Mickey, real quick, just to follow up, did we have anybody come through on the Motu March Madness?
Thank you.
The Orko Oopses?
No, still nobody has DM'd us anything. You're the first person in the chat that says, I want that. I'll send it to you. You got like a couple minutes before we end this stream. So say, I want it. And I'll get you your information, and I'll send it to you. All right. Going to Tom.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, though I don't even care. You got to go. It'd be cool if you go look at our previous episodes and find the Orko Oop slides. But if you don't, just say in the chat, "I want that."
Yep. Maybe you know what? How about this? We will come up with a thing that if nobody does, we're going to roll it over, and maybe we'll start doing our own pile of loot.
Pass it on and double it.
Pass it on and double it. What do you think?
I like it.
The toy box treasure.
Oh, that would be, yeah. Okay, we'll come up with something. If nobody claims it, that's what we're gonna do.
This is why I'm the name guy.
That's right. Anyway, so yeah, that's it for tonight. We appreciate you guys stopping by. We've got some toy reviews coming up because, like Tom said, Paperweight Entertainment picked up some stuff at C2E2. I've got some stuff coming out here either this week or next week. So there's going to be a lot.
I need to do some stuff before I start packing up stuff.
Yeah. Don't do that. Anyway, I always say be kind to yourselves and don't just play